Hi and welcome to the gwEmbassy. I'm gwEm. So for a while I've been a fan of the DiMarzio SDS pickup. Now this was a pickup that DiMarzio introduced in 1978 and it is a true single coil. So the construction is quite a lot like a P90. It has steel pole pieces and two magnets in the base. Now the magnets are a lot smaller than a P90, they're ceramic, and the coil dimensions are different as well. But nevertheless, it sounds in the vein of a P90, which is thick and muscular, but a little brighter and clearer than a humbucker. People say that the SDS, which stands for Super Distortion Strat, is a single coil of a super distortion. Now that's definitely not true. The Super Distortion Strat is around 9k impedance, so that is a lot higher than what half a Super Distortion would be. The problem with the SDS is that it is quite a noisy pickup. There's a lot of hum. It sounds fat, it's raunchy, it's very lively, but there is a hum. So I've been looking at alternatives for the SDS which might have the same really cool organic raunchy character but without the hum. So you probably saw an earlier video where I tried to use a dummy coil to remove the hum, and that really changed the tone of the pickup in ways that I didn't particularly like. So I'm going to try two alternatives. The first one is called the Track. The Track was introduced by DiMarzio in 1996 and it's got an impedance of around 7k. Now the idea of the Track is it's meant to sound a bit like a vintage PAF, and I've tried it in a couple of guitars and it's not bad. It sounds a bit like a vintage PAF. I think it's a little brighter and a little more compressed than a PAF, but nevertheless, considering the size and what it is, I think they've done a really good job and it sounds very good. The second pickup that I'm going to compare the SDS against is the DiMarzio Chopper, or the Chopper. This was a pickup introduced in 1994 by DiMarzio. It's another rails humbucker and it has an impedance of around 9k. Character-wise, somewhere in between a humbucker and a single coil, at least if we go by DiMarzio's website. And I felt like, well, maybe that characteristic with the single coil will bring it a bit more in the P90 territory. So we will see. I've got the three-way shootout and we'll come back at the end for some conclusions. So what do I think overall? Well, first up, I must say all three sounded pretty similar, didn't they? The SDS, I think, still has more life and kind of raunchiness to it than the two rails, the Pro Track and the Chopper. The Pro Track was a little bit less hot, I think, than the SDS, but it was the closest in terms of tone. The Chopper was a little bit further away in terms of tone. I think when DiMarzio say it's between a humbucker and a single coil, they mean it sounds like a humbucker, but it has a top end a bit like a Strat. That was definitely less hot. Now, I did set all of these pickups an identical distance from the strings. So did I find a hum cancelling version of the SDS or something like a hum cancelling SDS? No, not really. The SDS is still much more lively and it's got a real kind of thing going to it. I really like that pickup. Closest, I would say, is the Pro Track. If you listen to the recordings, it's hard to tell them apart. I believe you can. The Chopper is actually a really good pickup. It doesn't sound that much like the SDS because it isn't as hot, but there is some cool sort of single coil-ish character going on in the treble. So I've decided to leave the Chopper in the guitar for now. Who knows, I may change it for something else, but that's what I found in the end. So I hope you found that interesting, and like and subscribe, and hope to see you again on another video soon.